Welcome to Arts and Music. I am your host, Victor Janflone. Today on Arts and Music, I'm pleased to bring you Wali Jamal. Welcome, Wali Jamal.
All right. Thanks for having me, Vic.
You got it, man. So, being an actor, what was your first role you had?
Oh, my goodness. It was...
And what age?
Oh, I was... my first role, I was a Christmas tree. I was 8 years
That's
old.
awesome.
And the play was called The Three Christmas Trees, and I was the smallest Christmas tree. And this lumberjack comes along, he chops down the big tree, then he comes along, chops down the middle tree, and then they get to me and they're like, nah, leave him alone. We'll get him next year.
So that was your first
That
role?
was my role.
So
and I wanted to fall down like the other trees, but because everybody laughed when they fell down, when they got cut down. But I wound up, the star. So
That's awesome.
That was third grade.
So how long was that play for? How long was the running time on it?
It was about 10 minutes. And then in seventh grade, I really knew I was an actor. I was going to a Catholic school on the south side. It was St. Adalbert's down on 15th. It's just 2 blocks away from City Theater. Mm-hmm. And our teacher, Miss Cavalieri, had us read H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man. Mm-hmm. And it was written in play form. And she had me read Griffin. Mm-hmm. And it was just so ironic. I'm the only black kid there, playing the Invisible Man. And I didn't see the irony then, of course, because I was just so
You're so stoked about
I
being
was
the Invisible
so
Man.
stoked about playing the Invisible because he was so reserved and well put together but as this serum that made him invisible took effect, mm-hmm. he got more and more crazy, mm-hmm. and I was able to I love playing the crazies. Mm-hmm.
So that was
seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
Yeah, I was 11.
As an adult.
Then I didn't do anything except a couple of bit parts in industrial films, a couple of extra parts in a couple, Kingpin. I was in Kingpin.
Yeah.
I was in the strip club scene. So that really wasn't anything until '98, after I was in a Temptations movie as a drummer. And that was really funny. They got us. I was in the Musicians Union, 471, and it was me, Al Dow, Chuck
Kenny
Austin,
Blake was in it
Kenny
too.
Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bunch of really.
Do you know they called my father to play in that?
I don't know why they wouldn't.
My father used to play with Diana Ross and the Supremes.
Yeah.
So they did call him, but again,
your family.
I love you, Dad, but you don't leave the house.
You guys played at Jurgles, right? You
My
guys
brother.
used to do Jurgles?
Tony does.
Yeah, Tony Janflone. Yeah, I remember seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hang out with this beautiful actress named Christina Acosta, and she used to sing with a group up there at Jurgles. I went up there a couple of times. Love that place, man. That place rocks. To me, Jurgles kind of reminds me of the Decade.
It's a big club. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
used
a
to
nice
be
big club.
in Oakland.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember the Decade. But the Temptations movie.
Yeah.
Every time it's on VH1, I watch it all the time.
And I'm in the Copa scene where they're singing "Get Ready," and they go right into "I Know I'm Losing You," and you see me up there with no hair on my face at all, just smiling back there, because you remember how in the '60s they always had the drummer sitting way up here somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And it was crazy. They had me up there, and don't you know, right before they were about to start the playback and we were going to play along with it, I dropped my sticks, and they fell all the way under the stage.
Stagehand, help.
No, I had to go down there and get it myself.
Did
And I
you
came
really?
back up, and my tuxedo that they had us all fitted for is full of dust bunnies. And they're steady dusting me off and whatnot, and they're shoving me back up there to that perch. And it was a heck of a lot of fun. We did it over at the Emerald Room over in McKees Rocks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was great. And then shortly after that, I auditioned for my first play over at Kuntu Repertory Theater. It was a play called Lifting by Frank Hightower. And I walked in off the street, and I just walked in like I knew everybody. I mean, I just put in the schmooze of the century, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I know you. Yeah, we go way back, this and that. And then, the director, Eileen Moore, she comes out like, yeah, baby, we go way back. She's like, here, read this. And I went on in there and I read it. And Dr. Vernell Lilly, who we just got to see recently because she retired and she's in a nursing home, but man, she's still pretty sharp. But she said, where have you been, child? And so I'd been working ever since.
Yeah.
I mean, nonstop, play after play after play after play. I'm already booked up. I just finished piano lesson. We just did Gem of the Ocean in Maryland. Now I'm in rehearsal for A Lesson Before Dying with Prime Stage. It should be up by the time this airs, so go see it. It'll be at the Hazlitt Theater starting on March 5th. And then immediately after that, I'll be working with Patrick Jordan with the Tough Guys out in Braddock, doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Barebones Productions. I'll be playing the role of Turkle. And it's gonna be, oh man, it's gonna be something else. I mean, we got some hellified characters in this thing. I can't wait to do it. So I'm pretty much booked, and then I'll be performing in 7 Guitars. They're going to, like the house that August Wilson was born in, up there on Bedford, 1727 Bedford. There's a national landmark outside the house, and all kind of pictures, drawings of Romare Bearden people on the front of the house. And what's going to happen, Mr. Paul Ellis, the nephew of August Wilson, brother of Dr. Goddess, Kim Ellis, he and the Friends of August Wilson are going to level apart out by that house and do 7 Guitars outside.
Oh yeah.
In July. Yeah. And I'm playing Headley, the crazy Headley. I love about Headley. I don't want to give a spoiler alert, right, but he's the oldest guy in the play, and he's always got money, even though he's crazy. So that ain't, like Robert Downey Jr. said, that ain't retarded.
Nope, and it isn't me. No money here, baby.
So yeah, so my play's full. I'm booked. It's like the guy, the hangman in Blazing Saddle. Oh, I couldn't possibly fit him in. I'm booked solid. And this one is a doozy. I got a million of them.
That's great.
I was going to wear my Bill Cosby sweater, but I'm like, too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't just take a drink from you.
No. I wouldn't suggest it. I'll tell you what. I'm looking for this clip from the old Electric Company TV show used to come on. Yeah. Bill Cosby used to be on it with Morgan Freeman.
Watch that. Yeah.
And there was an episode, and I'm trying to find it, where Bill Cosby was in this sketch, and he was a mad scientist, and Morgan Freeman was his Igor. And Bill Cosby, the mad scientist, had this potion, and he told Igor to drink it. I'm really not that thirsty, master. He's like, drink it! Drink it! It was like, how ironic that I remember this, and I got to find it now. But he probably found it first and said, get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm sure Morgan Freeman was like, oh, no, Bill.
Not a good look back. Drink it!
But back to the Temptations.
Yeah.
I just have to do the shout out. David Ruffin Jr., much love.
Right on.
I've worked with David before when I was in California, so.
Man.
Yeah.
My whole world
Wonderful
ended
person.
the moment you left me is one of the most haunting, romantic, tear-jerking songs I ever heard in my life. And I mean, I get teary-eyed every time I hear it, because he had that gigantic orchestra playing behind him with the string section. It was just, ugh.
Now that's when they produced music.
Yes, wall of sound, even with Phil Spector, it's crazy. The best people out there are crazy. The best people out there are crazy. You just got to admit it, it just goes hand in hand. Madness befalls all genius.
Okay. When you're acting, some actors get into a zone. Do you ever feel that way when you're doing a part?
It's like like Marathon Man, Dustin Hoffman. He really got into that character and the weariness and the paranoia of this character that knows that there's some conspiracy coming down and nobody believes him and all like that. And he actually went without bathing and shaving and this and that. And Laurence Olivier walked to him and he said, Dustin, it's called acting. You can act like you stink. You can act like you haven't bathed. You can act like you haven't eaten. You can act like you haven't slept. What are you doing, young man? Right. And I'm like, see, the simplistic, ways of doing things are the way that I approach it. Very simple. I don't try to contrive anything from it, make it any more complicated or sophisticated than it is, because the audience, you only have seconds to convey this word, this sentence, this expression to the audience. You only have seconds. You ain't getting them back.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yeah. Like when I did Our Town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love Ted Pappas. Mm-hmm. He's so funny. There's a part, Hey Ted, there was a part in the play where I'm holding this imaginary horse named Bessie, and I'm talking to this kid, and out of nowhere, it gets out of my, it gets away from me, and he said, do that again. And, I did it again, and the hat flew off. He said, keep that. I'm keeping that. That's mine now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, you can have it. I got more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's moments that you create that aren't directed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what a director wants from you. It makes everybody's job that much easier. It makes the actor feel more confident about what they're doing because they feel like they made a right choice. And it's been, it's been condoned. It's been sanctioned, by the director. And then, I'm on the right track here. That's cool, So let me just keep myself on this same track. Don't overdo it. Because there was another time we did The Little Foxes. And there was this scene where Mr. Horace is sending me, Cal, on this errand that he doesn't understand. And it's raining. Mm-hmm. And it says in the script that he walks away grumbling. And Ted, he gave me my head. He's like, I want you to just think of something to say. Be careful. And he actually trusted me. Mm-hmm. To do a non sequitur sort of, like grumble, and that just made me feel like $1 million that he trusted that I would do something.
In there,
and each night, I said something different, and Deidre Madigan and Linda Haston, hello ladies, they were there, and they didn't know what to expect from me every night, because I'd be stomping out of there. They're sitting around drinking mulberry wine and eating cookies, and I got to go out in the rain. Mm-hmm. Like y'all sitting around eating Miss Regina's cookies and drinking her wine. She gonna have a fit when she get back here, and I'll just stomp on out. Like bad as my feet hurt, I got to go over here. And they had no idea what I was gonna say every night, and that was just so much fun. And it just made you feel so much more a part of things, that that it's the part that you bring that fits,
right?
And that it fits. You can't just bring anything. I'm just going to throw this monkey wrench in there.
Yeah,
it's gotta go with the whole, the big picture.
Yes.
It's got to be part of the big picture. So yeah, I love working at the Public Theater. Working with Ted Pappas is just such a blessing. I mean, I always felt that working on the Pittsburgh Public Theater stage was swimming in champagne.
Being an actor, though, is it difficult to remember lines?
Yes, it is. Yeah. But that goes back. I can do it. I can do it very proficiently, and it's because of the nuns that taught me in the Catholic schools that I went to growing up on the South Side. And here's how. They took certain kids who had a certain specific aptitude and put them in this advanced class where they would teach them speed reading. And what they would do, they'd have us sitting in there in this dark room, have the overhead projector, and they would flash a word on the screen like that. You had to write it down. Then after you got good, they'd flash a sentence, and you had to write that down. after a while, we were actually writing down paragraphs.
Really?
Because we were consciously taking photos of the images that we saw with our minds. We do it unconsciously, but when you do it consciously, you can retain so much. I can literally see my script in my head while I'm on stage.
Wow.
And I'm talking about the part of the page.
It's you.
Yeah, the part of the page. Well, everybody.
How?
Everybody. I don't highlight my script. I think I'm one of the only actors, me and Martin Giles, Marty? Me and Martin Giles are the only people I know that don't highlight their scripts. I learned the whole play. I don't care
amazing.
how little of the play I'm in. And it's mainly because I don't want to tell somebody that I'm in this play and they ask me what it's about and I can't tell them. Mm-hmm. If you're involved in a play, you should know. You should know what the play's about.
For sure.
You should. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. It's just me. But some people only know their lines in the play, and I think that is just, it's like Sugar Avery tells Celie in The Color Purple, I think it ticks God off when a person will walk past the color purple and not notice that he did all that, and they walk right by it like pearls to swine. And to not know what a whole play is about is criminal to me, if you're in it.
Oh, I hear that. So, as you can see, the little screen thing there.
Yep.
We're running out of time. But I did want to talk to you about the Johnny Gamage thing, briefly if we can. First off, give an overview, Johnny Gamage, which most people forget now. But,
yeah.
You know, and then what led to the situation of you not doing it.
Yeah.
For in which I know people that went to see it, and I guess it was good that you didn't do it, from what I heard.
Well, it was the first and only play I ever quit. And I always took pride in myself in saying that I never quit a show. I've been fired from some, but I never quit.
Right, yeah.
And it just seemed that it was just a bit disingenuous in the way that it was put together. I didn't feel that I'm trying to be very careful here, that the African American community was not represented properly by someone who really cared. We were talking with the people that I wound up falling out with about this and that, and we were talking about marketing. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it. As bad as I want to, I'm not going to say it. The thing is, I just didn't feel properly represented as a whole. And another thing is that a lot of the dialogue that I was expected to deliver was straight out material from Dave Chappelle, Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor. They're straight stuff. Plagiarism. I'm like, what are you doing? If Dave found out, he'd sue him. You know, and if any of them found out, the estate of Richard Pryor, they probably sued. And the main thing that I said is that, look, I think that this play is not going to accomplish anything but ticking off a lot of black people. And the person said, well, that's what I want.
Well,
I'm like, why don't you write a play about someone of your own ethnicity being killed by cops?
Right, yeah, really.
You know, I think you would be able to represent yourself a lot better than to try to represent me. Because you can't write me but have no idea of me.
Yeah.
And I had to go with my heart, and I got a lot of support. I got a great deal of support in my decision to walk from that show. I haven't walked from another one yet, but there hasn't been that sort of situation that would precipitate me walking, because it breaks my heart, to do that, And I was mainly asked to, by my good buddy Mark Southers, to do it, and I stuck with it as long as I could. I was asked to co-write it,
Right.
And I don't co-write. Well, there's only one person that I have successfully co-written some stuff with, and that's Miss Kim L. She's a playwright. She's brilliant. She was the author of the show, show Wali Jamal Presents, had featured the Kwanzaa play that I was talking about. It's called Ubuntu Holiday. And she's just a brilliant writer, and she's on her way.
Right now we have some clips of Wally, and so check them out.
I've been on the water a long time. I know what it takes to plug the holes. I ain't dumb, even though some people think I am. That gives me an advantage. I learned that when I was in Orphans. Mr. Redwood taught me that. He said, you ain't dumb, you just faster than everybody else. I'm so fast, I look slow. I'm waiting for everybody to catch up. That makes it look like I'm standing around doing nothing. They kept me back in the 4th grade because I wouldn't add 12 and 12. I thought it was stupid. Everybody knows there's 12 to a dozen and 24 to 2 dozen. I don't care if it's donuts or oranges. They handed me that test, I turned it in blank. If you had $17 and you bought a parrot for $12, how many dollars would you have left? Who the hell gonna spend $12 on a parrot? What you gonna do with it? Do you know how many chickens you can buy for $12? They thought I didn't know the answer. Like when people come to adopt me, they say, well, Sterling's a little slow. Stuck with me. Started to believe it myself. I'm thinking maybe they know something that I don't know. But that's what Mr. Redwood said. You ain't dumb. Just faster than everybody else. I've been going through the back door all my life because they don't never let me in the front. See this? This is a mark. I'm marking myself because I don't want you to misunderstand this. See that? I learned that from Coach Cheese. We on the battlefield now. But one sister, and I try to do right by, and you push me away. Family is important. I know the value of family. Blood is thicker than water. That's the way it's been, this way it always will be. You can't even water it down. Your mother wanted to turn blood into vinegar. When Uncle Jack was laying up there dying, she wouldn't even go see him. Say he was fooling the people being a fake blind man. She was right. But that's her brother. He deserved better than that. You can't stand the judgment of people. That's God's job. God decides who done right or wrong. Uncle Jack laying up there dying, calling for his sister. And she wouldn't even go see him. That's the kind of mother you got. You let her run your life. Got you thinking like her. You're thinking wrong and you don't even know it. Many a time I tried to make up to her and she wouldn't have it. Called me a scoundrel. But that didn't stop me from paying for her funeral. I paid for her funeral and I even shed a few tears. If I'd have known any prayers, I'd have said it. Why? Because she's family.
So what was the next thing up for you?
Lesson Before Dying. I'll be playing Reverend Moses Ambrose. And that play itself, just in a quick minute, it takes place in 1940 in Louisiana, in one of the parishes. And it's just this kid walking along, going fishing. Some friends of his drive up in a car, convince him to take a ride with them. They go to rob a liquor store with him standing there. Both of the friends get killed, and they killed the white man behind the counter. This kid's left standing there. He's dumbfounded, doesn't know what to do, but goes ahead and goes into the cash register, and while these white men are walking in. Next thing you know, convicted of murder, sentenced to die. His defense attorney said that it would be just like convicting and sentencing a hog to fry in the electric chair. And this guy's grandmother didn't like that, so she wanted this teacher to talk to him before he went to the chair, that he would walk to the chair with dignity, like a man.
Yeah.
And I played the preacher, so there was this
Nice.
back and forth thing between the teacher and the preacher. Like, you're not talking to him about God. He needs to, he's about to meet his maker. He needs to talk to God. I don't know nothing about God, this and that. How's God going to help him? Is God going to get him out the chair? And that's the real action to me of the play.
Yeah.
And it's very intense. It's going to be at the New Hazlitt Theater. It should be up by the time this show airs. So go over to the Hazlitt Theater, see A Lesson Before Dying, come see me, come see Tracy Turner, come see Lamar Darnell Fields, Hope Anthony, Everett Lowe, and I forget the other kid's name, I'm sorry. But come see, if you come see it, you'll know who everyone is. And thank you, Vic, for having me.
No, it's great to have you, man.
I'm glad I made it, I really am.
I'm glad you made it too, man, because I would have been really just like, oh, yeah, what's going on?
Right?
Thank you for watching Arts and Music. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, please email us at artsandmusicpgh@yahoo.com. And until next time, peace.